First on the agenda, we're going to introduce our newest member, Mr. Keith Imes. Keith, welcome to the committee.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good. And in just a few words, Keith, I know most of us have a pretty good idea who you are already, but if you just say a few words about yourself.
I'm originally from Texas. I've worked in turf for 45 years, retired in May of 24, which was a great decision on my part. I'm sure some staff here think so too. I just feel like it's an opportunity for me to give back a little bit because it's kind of hard to get away from it when you've done it that long. So I'm glad to be here.
Welcome aboard, Keith. So the first or the next item is the approval of the July 8th meeting notes. Do I have a recommendation for approval? And a second? Okay. The notes are accepted as is, no changes. Next, we're going to move on to the golf facilities review.
Can we get Hannah to go first?
Oh, sure, yeah. Okay, we're going to have throw a curveball here a little bit, but we're going to have Hannah go ahead and speak to tournaments and some other items, I believe. Please.
Does this thing work? Perfect. Hi, I'm Hannah Hellier, and I'm the head teaching professional for the Bella Vista community. I'm here to talk to you all about our 2026 Futures Academy Invitational that we hosted on July 25th. So, Tom, you have a big job to do. Excellent. What is the Futures Golf Academy? So on your left, you're going to see a picture of me when I was like 10 years old. So that's me holding a trophy with my local pros golf bag. And essentially, I'm just excited to give back what I was able to have as well. And you're going to see that throughout all of our programming. You're going to see that in the tournament that I'm going to tell you about. So what is the Futures Golf Academy? It's our junior golf programs funded by the membership. Its primary support is Dave Armstrong and the Futures Cup. We offer monthly classes. We offer toddlers and tees, so that's ages 3 to 5. We offer an intro to golf class. We offer a homeschool class. We offer a high school development class, and we also offer Operation 36. My whole goal is to create a ladder system for our junior golfers to go through so that by the end of their time with us, they're excellent high school players, perhaps even collegiate players. But so far we've seen a lot of the kids come into the classes and then they'll take another class and then they'll kind of keep moving up progressively through our programs. We also offer PGA Junior League, which is a great way for the kids to get out and play other courses in the area and to compete against other teams. We also offer ambassador and scholarship funds for golfers in the community. So hopefully we'll have more details on that for the couple months to come up. So the Futures Academy Invitational. There's the trophy. Woo! Okay, Tom, next slide. So just a big thanks to Dave Armstrong and the Futures Cup, Randy Roberts, Kelly, Maddie, and Delia Stokes, Open Arc Corporate Advisory, Jeannie and Ed White, Ryan Summers, and Lori Powell. All of these sponsors provided us with an excellent tee gift. It's just right here. So each kid that participated in PGA Junior League, so we had Fayetteville, Springdale, Shadow Valley, Pinnacle, First Tee, and Bella Vista all come together and have a big tournament. But there were kids that didn't necessarily get to play in this event. They still received a tournament tee gift. And so part of it was that they got this really nice t-shirt that was designed by Tim in marketing, and Leslie was the one that put all the orders together, and she's so organized, she's so good. But yeah, so that was the tournament tee that everybody got. And then with Open Arc, they also provided us with a ton of little tee gifts, little trinkets, and just really made the gift a really exciting thing for the kids. We had lots of treats in there, cookies, the whole kit and caboodle. We also had Chick-fil-A breakfast sandwiches. So really just trying to amp up the event to make it one for the kids to remember and one for the kids to come back and play next year. let the festivities begin. So we had 65 participants on the day. The top 8 players played in 2-player scramble formats. The highest score of the 4 teams was kicked out for the team total. So kind of like that high school match, that's typically how they do the scoring. And then players that didn't make their team, they were joined, they got to play on the back 9 just for a fun little scramble. So just trying to make sure that everybody felt like they were included in the day. And the results, we lost to Fayetteville. We'll get them next year, though. So it was pretty exciting. Like, we saw a lot of the teams produce pretty close scores, and we even had a group of kids shoot under par. So pretty impressive for a scramble, 2-man scramble format. They did play a little bit forward, but for them to hit those kind of shots was pretty amazing. And you'll see some kids, like, they just started playing golf this year, and then we'll have some kids that play really competitive golf. So it's a really great place for the kids to come together on different skill levels and learn together. Yep, and so that was kind of, the day went really well, and I can't wait to host it again next year. I think we had really great support from the community. We even had Maddie Stokes, who was a ambassador for us last year. She hit the official tee shot of the day, and she even had kids taunting her, saying, "Don't miss the ball." And she did great. I mean, I was nervous for her, but she did awesome. She executed it, and it was a really great day to be had. So thank you to Dave, and thank you to all the sponsors that we've had to really make this academy into something special. Yeah, thank you.
So can I say something here?
Sure.
I've worked at a lot of different kinds of golf facilities, and one of the things that Bella Vista does that I've always been proud of and admire, and the staff, is the junior program. Because us as regular golfers, we have to give up something to let the juniors play. And this is really a big deal. That's our future. They're who's going to take our places. So congratulations to everybody's staff.
Agreed. Thank you, Hannah. I know there's a lot of work that goes in behind all this, and thank you. Oh, Dave is joining us from Zoom, and looks like he'd like to have something to say.
Yeah, I would just like to say thank you to Hannah and to Daryl. It was Daryl's vision to start this whole Futures Academy. And prior to this, we had been just donating money to junior golf, and we didn't really have a specific way to do it. And through Daryl's efforts and now Hannah, it has just exploded, and it has gone beyond my wild expectations of what we could accomplish. I know all the guys that are in the Futures Cup, and those that participate in the AJGA tournament, which is coming up pretty soon. I know they're all thrilled to be able to participate in something like this and give back to the community. But having said that, none of it would be worth anything if not for the efforts of Hannah and her staff, and for Daryl. And so my hat's off to them. Thanks. And this is the Futures Cup hat that will be given out again this year.
Very good. And so now moving on, I think we're up to the golf facilities, so let's go ahead and move forward with those. And Clay, we'll start with you.
Okay, Highlands is, of course, I'm looking after this, the person that's reporting on that. Greg Jones approached me and was very nervous. I was going to give him a bad review. Bad review. But, no, the course is in excellent shape. The rain has not been coming, but they're just watering the heck out of it. The tee boxes look like greens right now. They're cutting them very flat. The grass is perfect. So Highlands, both the fairways, the greens, the tee boxes, the sand traps are all in good shape. Great shape. Once you get into the rough, it's hard and bad things happen, but that's why they call it rough. The pro shop's always good. The carts are starting to fall apart, as everyone knows, so nothing else to report. The cart paths are deteriorating even more, so the sooner we get that taken care of, the better. But overall, Highlands is great. That's it.
Thank you, Clay. John?
Sure. Tanyard, You know, I mean, it's brand new. There really isn't much wrong with it. In the time that I've been there is that the pro shop has certainly got plenty of merchandise in it, and it's nice to see that people are at least, you know, trying some of the equipment. You know, they're using the putters, they're trying to get a feel for equipment over there, and Mark is generally more than gracious to help them out with that. They seem to be managing the various tee locations well. You know, I just need to keep that sand and where the divots are being created. But overall, everything certainly seems to be in order. Other than that, I'd say it's great. Okay.
Thank you, John. Kimala?
It's very apparent that everything was great. I had kind of heard that maybe the greens were a little tore up, but I didn't see that Saturday. Just fixing other people's divots was the biggest issue. Pro shots,
Can you
obviously.
speak up a little bit?
Yes.
I don't know if they're picking up the.
Okay. The pro shop is awesome. We have plenty of merchandise. The staff is great. Some of the carts are looking a little rough. We know that. Other than the cart paths, that's about all I got to say. Yeah.
Thank you, Kimala. Just on a note, I did get some feedback on the greens and people fixing their ball marks as well, so might be another
So it's gotta be out there. They're
topic
gonna
for
put
us
that
to go
ground
over
here,
again
they're
with
gonna
people.
put that button.
So, Keith?
All right, I have a country club, and you think Greg was nervous about you. You should have seen Reed about me. But I played Monday, and I thought I've never seen the fairways and the tee boxes as good as they are right now in my 10 years here. So congratulations to the staff for that, because I never got a bad lie. Got in the rough. There was a lot of grass out there too, but again, that was rough. Pro shop, obviously this pro shop is kind of the flagship for us. When you come into this place, it's always good. I always like it because it's got some merchandise from all the courses. Everybody was very friendly in there when I got here, and I got here a little late. They helped me get to the tee on time, which carried over to the golf carts. That guy down there was very helpful, got me down the tee on time. We have negative about golf carts, but I was going to point out some positives that maybe we should notice a little more. The placards were all up, suggesting what we do. The sand buckets were filled, and they were clean. So they're doing everything they could do on these golf carts, in my view. As far as the golf course again, you know, I was impressed with how the greens are holding up. This weather is a bit challenging. We had a couple people watering in front of us, and the group I played with, they realized why they were doing it, and they gave them the opportunity, which I think is good. I didn't have to get on them. I did have to get on them about them taking the carts on number 9, so I straightened that out before we got yelled at. But I wish the staff continued success this year with the bent grass the next couple weeks. We make it through that, and you're going to be in good shape. Kyle is really happy that he has Bermuda greens right now, I'm quite sure. So I thought the golf course was as good as I've ever seen it. I enjoyed playing it. It was a lot of fun. So great job to the staff.
Thanks, Keith. Drew?
I had the Dogwood Golf Course, last played there on Friday. At the pro shop, staff is very friendly, helpful. Everything's well stocked. Putting greens, practice greens up there at the front, very well kept. No complaints on any of the tee boxes, well etched out. Fairways all in good shape. Did not have any complaints on greens, but as previously mentioned, people fixing their divots. I have noticed that on quite a few of the easier to reach greens on lower handicaps. Only question I would have is on the bridges between fairway of hole 14 and the green, and bridge going from tee box 15 over. I know they have pieces of OSB have been put there previously to replace that. Is there a long-term plan for that? Would be my only question on that.
Yeah, I'll get back with you on specifics. We talked about replacing you're talking about the plywood?
Yep.
Yeah, we've talked about replacing that, but I don't have a 100% plan for you yet when that'll be done. I'll get back with you, the whole group.
But other than that, course is in phenomenal condition, no complaints.
Thanks, Drew. Thanks, everyone, for your input. So moving on, next we will hear from Graham regarding the maintenance updates.
All right, I just want to make note that the Bentgrass Green golf courses are all doing well. You know, we had a very wet, rainy early summer, late spring, similar to last year, and then it got very hot. Right now, of course, it's kind of drying out. Most of the moisture's out of the ground, but we had a similar early summer to last year, and everyone did a great job getting through that. We're continuing to play defense. Obviously, the next 10 days in the hundreds, high 70s at night. You know, we've got to do a lot of watering this time of year, which, we've had some commentary about ball marking on greens with bent grass. I think that would, for a facility like ours where we have to probably overwater to make sure we don't maybe take a step backward with our staff sizing. We want to make sure that we do not lose any turf. So the conditions are going to be a little bit softer and so forth. And so that's probably why we're seeing a little bit more ball marking right now. And as we transition out of summertime, we can expect to firm up our greens as the weather cools off. We did have a nice stretch of weather in July. We had a 5-day stretch where the temperatures got in the 80s, 60s at night. That really helped our staff kind of take a breather, help the turf out. And it's been interesting. I've been here 2.5 years now, but every summer, I've been here 3 summers, and we've had that stretch each summer. So I hope that's a normal thing in Northwest Arkansas, but it certainly helps everything out. So I did want to make a note on the Kingswood greens as well. Shane has noted to me, 7 and 10 traditionally have been greens he's really struggled with, and those greens right now are in good shape. We did have some more cicada killers this year, a lot less than last year, but we were doing some different things to try to get rid of those. So there was a little bit of damage where they have dug into the green, but it's been very minuscule in comparison to what we dealt with last year. So we're happy with the performance of the fans and what they've been able to do for us on Kingswood. Kyle and Scott both had a successful aeration on Scottsdale and Brittany. And then just a little bit further out, by the time we meet next month, well, no, actually just after we meet next month, but we're going to be beginning to aerify the Bentgrass Greens golf courses in September. So 14th and 15th on the Highlands, 21st and 22nd on Country Club, the 29th and the 30th on Dogwood, and then October 5th and 6th on Kingswood and Birchdale. We are in the process of aerifying the tees and the collars on the Highlands Country Club, Kingswood, Birchdale, and Dogwood golf courses. This is a process that has helped relieve compaction. As our rounds increase, the amount of play that compacts the ground and causes poor turf conditions just continues to compound. So this is a process that we can use to decompact the soil and help the turf health. And it seems to have helped us in the wintertime as well in the collars. I think traditionally here you might see some winter kill, and we've gone through a couple winters with really no winter kill in the collars. So we, fingers crossed. Don't know if that is 100% solved by aerification, but it certainly does help. We know that. Continuing to clean up goosegrass. Kingswood, Birchdale, Country Club, those valley holes that tend to flood, we get a lot of silt movement in, probably some weed seed as well during these rain events. They've just been very, very tough to keep goosegrass out. We went through an extra step this year, adding another pre-emergent application to make sure we weren't running into a situation where there was breakthrough in between where maybe the coverage ran out. Still yet, despite all that, we're still seeing breakthrough. It's really where you see it the most is in the common Bermuda. So again, we've all talked about, or I've certainly talked about it multiple times, getting a denser turf variety is going to be a big improvement for y'all's playing conditions. And so that's something we want to continue moving forward with. Also wanted to note that the zoysia sprigs we planted on 16 Kingswood and Scottsdale really surprised us with the amount of establishment, the amount of live plants we were able to establish. And then looking forward on the Highlands Golf Course where we planted the zoysia grass on the collars and maybe didn't have a lot of high hope for it and wasn't real sure what was going to happen because we couldn't spray the herbicide combination to remove the Bermuda grass. that close to the bent grass greens, that zoysia has really started to take off and really overtake the Bermuda. And so we're pretty hopeful that this also gives us an idea or an option to potentially establish zoysia grass slowly if we're willing to be patient, maybe over a 2 to 3 year, multiple year time frame. So Kyle wanted to note the elm tree on number 10 is struggling. Rains Tree Service came out and it's diagnosed with Dutch elm disease. We're looking at, well, it's likely to die in the next couple of years. We want to replace that elm with either a pin oak or a poplar tree, and that's something we'll budget for in 2027. Kind of felt like that was an important tree, frames the whole. And so if we're going to lose that tree, we want to immediately replant and not have an issue there. Capital update, all the fans on Kingswood are operational. Asphalt grinder, I spoke with the vendor. They are slightly behind on their work as far as building it. We're now expecting the grinder mid-September, which probably isn't a loss to us because I anticipate it's still going to be very hot and everyone's going to be very busy and unlikely to be able to start grinding cart paths until it cools off anyway. So mid-September, we're hoping to have that in hand. And then the asphalt overlay work on Country Club in Scottsdale is scheduled to begin in September as well. I don't have an exact date on that, but it'll be sometime in the month of September. So, any questions?
Graham, I have kind of 2 questions or a comment. One, I think your goosegrass, there was some on this golf course.
Yeah.
But what I noticed it was where you can't do anything in that transition between greens. Is that because of the pre-emergent risk on the greens? Is there anything new out there that's going to help with that in the future? Because that's a no-win zone.
There is one pre-emergent strike core that we have considered. So you have you're limited to 1 application per year. So we have tried it. It's good on Poania and goosegrass. And so we're looking at we tried it on Poania and it did a pretty good job last fall. But we're looking at maybe a June app to maybe help us right around the greens at Country Club. And you're right, that is where the majority of the goosegrass is.
And then my other question is to help us prepare for aerification, which all golfers love, new punch holes. I know that you've made changes in how it's done, so what can we expect that might be less disruptive to a smaller tines? You have a plan?
Yeah, so in the fall we have typically gone the smaller tines and we have leased. I'm not sure if I ever made note of it in here or not, but there's Kyle actually found them a couple of years ago, but there's a machine that sweeps and kind of rolls the surface out smooth behind it. And we leased 2 of those items at the start of this year. So we've been able to use those at every aerification, which has really made a positive impact on improving the surface following aerification. Seems to be a lot quicker than the old core harvesters that were here prior to that process. Sir.
One question. Some courses that have zoysia actually want you to drive your cart on the fairway and not on the rough. Is there a chance that we're going to change things at Highlands for that, or are we going to stay with the standard 90-degree rule?
Yeah, I would, and I'll have to check with Greg on that for his, exact preference as he's, directing traffic on that. But I would agree with that sentiment. The more you can keep carts on the fairway, the less beat down the rough would get. We anticipate zoysia being able to hold up to the hold up, be dense, and not lose density because of cart traffic. So, but let me get with Greg on that to give you an answer.
Okay, any more questions for Graham?
I have a few more things to note, and these are discussion points that came up last meeting. Bunker rake decals. So Country Club they installed decals this spring based on conversation in this, saying, place the rakes in the bunkers. No one else did that, and it got brought up. So is there, we have some superintendents that prefer them in the bunkers, some that prefer them out. Is there a need to label that? Is anyone going to listen to it anyway?
I'm going to say congrats because I was going to say congrats because it's nice to see the rake in the trap, and it's nice to see the label on the rake that says leave it in the trap. So is there a USGA rule that says that it needs to be in or out?
Well, their recommendation, and they may have changed, I think Bob a couple meetings ago mentioned that the last update he saw was leave them in the bunkers, but the last one I read, which was within the last year says they should be placed outside the bunker, and here's why. So if you have your rake inside the bunker and your ball were to come to rest against that rake, and then you pick up the rake to hit your golf shot and your ball rolls, you have to place it where it was,
Okay.
up in the face. So that's what they're recommending, outside the bunker in a way that least likely to potentially a ball to come to rest against. So
Okay.
that was,
I'm making sure the rake's in the bunker right now.
okay.
So I'll just jump on that. I was down at Doral on a World Optimist tour with my daughter, and I asked that question. They want out the bunker everywhere for that
Okay.
event, for that deal, because every bunker slopes, and if it's sitting in the wrong place, and also where the way they put it, people put it back in the bunker. In the grass, you got more versatile and everything, and you can play a ball and you can move it a foot if there's an issue, or replace it where it is. So it's easier to move it around the bunker than in the bunker.
Okay.
So Graham, I actually brought up that at the last meeting, so I'll speak a little bit.
Okay.
And I liked the labels. And regardless of, I think we should be consistent across all of the facilities. And no, we can't make people put them back there, but at least maybe it might show the next guy to put it back. So whether we decide to have them in the bunker or out of the bunker, like you said, Daryl, I think it's nice to have the labels on it to give direction to people.
Okay. We're trialing a product. The topic is when the bridges are wet, they're slippery. We're trialing a product on those bridges. So that's a Brazilian teak wood. It's very hard wood. So stains and some paints don't bind to that very well is something else I read and was told by some of our superintendent staff. And so we're trialing a product on the arch bridge on number 7 Kingswood just to see if it will hold up to traffic. It's a very small area, but we're just going to kind of keep our eye on it. And if it were to work, that's something that potentially we can budget for in 2027. The other thought was a mat. And I guess they had that at Country Club at some point, and then it was starting to rot out the wood underneath it, and so it was removed. I think that was within a couple of years ago, right? Fairly recently. So we'd like to probably maybe avoid that if that's going to be the ultimate, or what would happen if we put mats out across those bridges. So I'll keep you guys in the loop on that. Another thing that was brought up, install smaller gravel on top of the larger rock areas on Highlands. Greg said he's going to handle that. May not happen until it cools off a little bit, but he is going to address that. And then the trees on Kingswood that are kind of affecting the tee shots on 11, 17, and 18. Shane thinks that he can handle the ones on 11. The ones on 17 are a little bit too high for his staff to get to, so we're going to need a contractor for that. And then also an 18 along that creek that are kind of affecting that tee shot, we're going to need a contractor. So on number 11, he can handle that one, and the other two, we're going to need a contractor. We'll have to budget for that in 2027. So fall, winter work, but we will get that addressed. So.
Thank you, Graham. And Daryl, before we move on to yours, Mr. Hauser has some information that he would like to share.
Yeah, speaking of the Optimist World Championship, I wanted to congratulate our own Daryl Muldoon and his daughter Tegan for winning the parent-child scramble there, and also she had an outstanding tournament in the girls' tournament, finishing 16th out of about 120 people. So congratulations to you two.
All right.
I heard she carried the team.
Oh, she did. She really did, and that was a great way to finish her high school career off as we take her down to her college career on Saturday. So we finished off strong. It was a great week. It rained every day in Miami, and it was hot as could be, but it was great. So thank you. I'll get you back though.
Okay.
All right, moving on to my report real quick. I just want to shout out what an exceptional heat wave in July, and the crew did a phenomenal job. Graham and his crew kept the greens rolling. They were out spraying them, cooling them off. So thank you, because if it wasn't for you, we couldn't hit the numbers that we hit. So you give us the product, we sell it. Thank you very much. And I really want to shout out to, or reach out to all golfers. Take a little bit of time on the greens, fixing them correctly. Fix yours and 3 others. I've seen it. I follow players and they don't fix it. Just because your ball comes in low and ends up at the back of the greens are so soft right now, they're ripping up in the front of the greens. You can go to number 1 at Highlands, and those first 4 paces on, you can see 30 just sitting there, and they're so soft. Although some people are hitting long irons in there because it doesn't roll on the Zoysia anymore, let's pay attention, spend some extra time, fix them, because what we don't do now, if we don't do it, it's going to be rough in fall season. So thank you to you, but I'm encouraging all golfers, take your time, fix them, and that will definitely help, and fix them correctly. Don't watch the PGA guys that pop it up. They don't care because they're gone next week. Go in and push them in, tap them down, and be good to go on that side. So I want to give you a shout out to that, Keith.
The ball mark thing, now that I'm an old guy that hits rescues in the greens, I hit the front and the ball rolls all the way to the back and nobody ever walks to the front. So that's kind of what happens with some of us that are older. We just go back and get our ball and we forget. So we need to remind people of that. And the other thing is Scott Hansen 2 weeks ago in his little article, I don't know if you've seen those, he had a ball mark repair video in there. You need to change that one because I'm still on it. Somebody else needs to do it.
Okay. Okay. With that said, our rounds ended up for July at 25,850, 620 over last year. Membership was up by 269 rounds, and guests were up by 343. Cave bookings were 91, a little up over last year because it's hot, so people being in the cave, and we're seeing it this week too, which is great. But year to date, we had 130,444 rounds, up by 17,383 over last year. And this is the big one, we're up 7,538 over 2024. And for you that's new on the board, 2024 was a record setting. So if we continue to do what we're doing, we're going to set some more records, and that's for the product that Graham's providing. Can't thank him enough. Membership rounds are up by 10,065, and guests are up by 7,318. And cave bookings at 628. That's phenomenal for that caves. It's very, very popular, which is awesome. Range buckets, astonishing. 55,945 range buckets to date, 17,000 over last year, which is phenomenal. Membership at 47,389, and guests are at 8,556 buckets. So we're really busy. We love it. What I'm seeing right now is busy in the mornings, dead time from 1 to 4 o'clock, and then you're having the afternoon rush getting out there when it starts to cool off. I get it. That's what it is. It actually gives Graham's crew time to get around and cool those greens off. So just fix your pitch marks. Once again, I know this is new to you, but I always change up the agenda. So I apologize. Ruth gets on to me every month. But I got a couple of things because Ruth asked me to reach out or to say this. We got the AJGA coming up. First of all, if you look on the Golf E-News, we have sign-ups for the Junior Am, which is a phenomenal event with Play with the Top Junior. It's a scramble. Please get membership to sign up on that. And also she's looking for volunteers for the Thursday and a few more for the weekend. A couple of the people said it's too hot. Well, that's still 3 weeks away. It's been hot. It's going to cool off. So get hold of Ruth. She needs volunteers. It's a great event. Everybody comes in and all the parents say the event is made because of the volunteers, and the volunteers do make it. So reach out to Ruth, get that done. The other thing I want to talk about real quick, Mr. Brooks brought it to our attention in last JAC meeting that the golf balls were all scuffed up and everything like that. We'll come to find out, thanks to him, we looked at it closely. We actually had a mower. We have 2 automatic mowers that go around and cut, and we found out that the guards were broken and we were waiting on some to come in. So it wasn't the poor quality golf balls. They were actually being cut up by these little blades, and it's hard to see by the eye. When you're washing and cleaning them, it's really hard to see. But shout out to Reed. He's got a 3D printer. He got to work real quick, got them all made up, put these new guards on. Once we tested them in the long stuff and the short stuff, they don't cut up the golf balls. So with that going on right now, we are starting to clean up the golf balls, get rid of all the cut ones. They are still out there, because if we had to go on and do it, we might not have golf balls for people to hit tomorrow. But we got a new shipment of golf balls came in, a pallet came in, and we are changing them out as they go. It's going to take time, but swinging a swing with a golf ball, at least you're swinging a swing. It's not perfect, but we're getting there. So thanks for bringing it to our attention. It's fixed, and we're moving forward on that part. Okay, the little mowers are great, and the pickers are great. When I was down in Durrell, they had the same equipment we have running around, and it was cool to watch. They've had theirs for 5 years, and they won't change them. They say they're great, so, and we are enjoying ours as well. I got a little blurb I'm going to share with the committee. It's a pretty big one that's going to be coming out. Leslie's probably going to kill me, but we need to make a little blurb out there. We had the opportunity of a tailor-made tour trailer stopping by our location on October 3rd to do a fitting day with 4 professional fitters. It'll be a registered fitting day on a tour trailer. Clubs are made right then and there. Professional stamping on it, custom shafts and everything. The irons, you order it right then and there, it takes 7 days. It is one elite trailer that comes in with professional fitters. And they picked us to stop by as they're moving through the country. So we will do a big blurb out there. We'll show it. People will have to sign up because it's an hour fitting, and we roll 4 fitters. We're going to make it a big day on October 3rd for TaylorMade. So thanks to TaylorMade for giving us the opportunity to host, and hopefully our membership jump all over that. So it's kind of exciting. All good? Okay, that's all I got. Any questions for me?
Just a perspective. I worked here for 10 years. It's been my first year, 2014. We didn't have 130,000 rounds at the end of the year.
That's true. Very true.
Put that in perspective, that's 5 more months of golf. Think about that for a minute, how far y'all have come.
Tom, he's saying we can go on vacation now. We're just closing down. I'm kidding. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. Good information. Tom, anything? And it looks like, so all of our board liaisons, Dave Armstrong, and then Bob Brooks and Kim Carlson, they're all joining us via Zoom. So is there anything from the Zoom audience? All good from Bob? Kim?
Doing great.
All good?
All good here.
And there's Dave. That's all 3 of them. So any comments from the public or emails? Nothing? Okay. Making it easy on me, guys. So moving on to old business. I'm going to start this out with, so Tanyard Creek dress code attire. We put together a subcommittee during the July meeting to research and review what the dress code should be, not just at Tanyard Creek, but also at the practice facilities. So that's a little more encompassing. So anyway, I'd like to first just give a little summary of who the committee was, what we did, and acknowledge some of the contributions that we had. So the subcommittee was made up of Kimla Mullen, John Fritz, and myself. And personally, there's a lot of work that goes into this, guys. I didn't really realize quite how much work. And thank you, Kimla and John, for all of your time, the research you put in, thoughtful, the working and developing what we've come up with. So thank you very much for your time. Additionally, Ruth was very helpful. Daryl and his staff, operational golf operations, certainly appreciate their input, the expertise that they were able to provide, and again, very much appreciated in the entire process. So the objective of the subcommittee, we were trying to establish a clear and consistent expectations for appropriate golf attire. We wanted to maintain the quality, the appearance, and the standards expected of Bella Vista's golf facilities, and in doing so, also provide a dress code that's reasonable and welcoming for all members and guests. Okay, so the research, we actually went out and researched numerous different public, semi-private, and private facilities within about 100 miles of Bella Vista. So we went out and looked at what they were doing, what they had documented, what they had on their websites, made phone calls. So we felt like we got a pretty good representation and were able to put together a pretty good strategy that was in alignment with what we want the expectations to be. So we reviewed the dress code policies, compared standards of golf courses, practice facilities, and driving ranges, and identified common practices and standards among the comparable facilities. So based on that research, the subcommittee has put together the following recommendation. Do we have it to put up, or am I? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, then I get to read it to you guys. So the dress code is recommended as follows. To help maintain a high-quality golf experience for all members and guests, appropriate golf attire is required at all times on all golf courses and practice facilities. Golf apparel sold by recognized golf brands, including Nike, FootJoy, Lululemon, and similar manufacturers, will be acceptable. Swimwear, cutoff shorts, and tank tops for men are not permitted. Also, golf shoes and athletic sneakers are permitted, but metal spikes are not. They're prohibited. So, individuals who are not appropriately dressed may be asked to change before leaving, or before playing, or to leave the premises. The golf staff reserves the right to make the final determination regarding compliance with the dress code. Okay? Let's get that off there. So, pursuant to that, we understand that implementing the proposed dress code is going to present some challenges and especially during the transition. So, however, we feel that, clear communication, educating our members and guests, that's going to get us to the standard that can be effectively, implemented and consistently maintained for what our members and guests expect from our facilities. So, again, on behalf of the committee, I appreciate you letting us do this. It was a lot of work. Any questions? Okay, Clay?
Thanks for the update. Blue jeans in the winter, those are still okay, right?
Jeans are fine anytime.
Jeans are fine.
We actually had those discussions in
Thank
that.
you.
Mhm.
I want to jump in here and thank the committee. We had an hour and 20-minute meeting in the office with Paul, and you guys did a great job. It was good, and I just want to point out that times are changing. Things are changing, dress codes are changing. You have a look at all the facility. If you get out of Bella Vista and you go to other tournaments, or if you go to junior events, things are changing. So this is a great way to adapt. It's a great way to let the staff make the decision. If we have people coming in and it's just unacceptable, midriff showing, or hole in any t-shirts, or ripped up, everything, that's going to be our decision. We don't want to put you all in that place. We will try and hold it. Biggest thing is just educate. Come on, you can't do that. If we see somebody with their family down at Tanya Creek and they're running around without shoes, the kids aren't having a good time, we're going to approach them and educate them. Next time, they're better, and hopefully they come by and behave. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to, bam, this is where it is, because a lot of people just don't know. And that's where it is. So we'll do our best over the time as we transition through it, and we'll make it work. So we'll kind of go from there. So thank you for your time. Mm-hmm. What this will happen now, if everyone's good with it, we'll get the MRQ and we'll change everything out and put everything up there and kind of go from there. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're going to take a quick vote on it, and just so you know, Jerry hadn't had a chance to review this yet, so he will abstain. So I'll have Ruth and Ruth's proxy only. Jerry will abstain from that. So, okay.
So I take it that this is somewhere below the top line of dress codes in a lot of places. So we've softened it a little bit for our membership.
I wouldn't say we've softened it. We took the dress code that was being out there anyway, and we added practice facilities to it. and then we kind of adapted it. It's kind of interesting. I spoke to a pro down the road that has a very strict dress code, and I said to him, how do you uphold it? He turned around and goes, we can't. And I said, so if you have somebody in tight yoga pants on the range, what do? He goes, I don't do anything. And so, I mean, that's kind of where it is, but we're going to educate and kind of grow from there and see where it is. It's going to take time, but clothes are changing. You can just go to restaurants and see. But if there's tank tops and men and they're hitting golf balls and it's inappropriate, we will address that.
Brad, before we vote, could you read the
You want me to read the
text
statement again?
just to make sure everyone understands it, especially
Absolutely.
me?
Okay, so the dress code will read as follows. To help maintain a high-quality golf experience for all members and guests, appropriate golf attire is required at all times on all golf courses and practice facilities. Permitted attire, golf apparel sold by recognized golf brands, including Nike, FootJoy, Lululemon, and similar manufacturers is acceptable. Not permitted swimwear, cutoff shorts, and tank tops. Footwear, golf shoes, and athletic sneakers are permitted. Metal spikes are not allowed.
Read again, tank tops by men.
Did I not say that? And tank tops for men are not permitted. I apologize. Thank you for catching it.
Sorry, I was trying to get this right. So you mentioned yoga pants on the range. I didn't hear yoga pants as being outlawed, so those are fine. Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right, so let's take a vote. Excuse me. All those in favor of making this, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. It's the only time I forgot, too. So all those in favor for moving forward with making this recommendation to the board, raise your hand. Anyone against? It passes. That will be, that dress code will be submitted to the board.
Actually, we don't necessarily have it go to the board. It goes to the management team and they implement it.
Then we'll send it to
And we
Darrell.
appreciate the work of the subcommittee.
Absolutely.
Could I ask one favor?
Sure, Bob.
I was watching the high school kids, girls and boys out getting ready for their qualifying rounds. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea that I'm looking for this, but some of the girls were wearing what really looked like bathing suit tops with shorts on, and there were probably some things falling out of the shorts that shouldn't have been at the back end. I'm wondering if a letter or something to the high school coaches to have them share with their players what we expect not to see at the golf course.
Yeah, I can jump on that. So I want to ask Bob a question. Was that at the day here at Country Club when they had the inter-schools thing, or was it just a practice day?
They were up at Highlands practicing.
I'm aware of that, and I have emailed all the coaches on that, and it's been taken care of, Bob.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, moving on. The additional old business, dead tree removal and replacement. Graham, if you want to say more to that, I know you did some more research on that, and you just want to speak to that real quick.
Yeah, emailed the group a few days after our last meeting. Just wanted to make note that we were able to find a company that will come in and plant a 15 to 20 foot tree in an irrigated area of the golf course, and they will guarantee that tree for 1 year following planting. And that price tag on that is $4,900. Alternatively, we could pay $3,900, receive the tree, and we could plant it ourselves and not receive the warranty. So that was what I came up with.
Do we have any questions on that? Yeah. Clay?
Yeah, Graham, the time of year, I mean, right now is not a good time to plant a tree, right? So what month do they prefer?
I would anticipate March or April as we exit winter, but maybe either during or before the spring rains would be an ideal time to plant. But I think we could probably even push that into early summer if we needed to, as long as it's getting irrigated, so.
Okay. Any
Is that-
further
is that
questions?
planted with a big planter truck?
No, these are, so no one around here really does the spades anymore. So these are potted trees. These are 150 gallon or 200 gallon, depending on the species, potted trees, grown by pot the whole time. So they'll come out with an auger, dig the hole where you want it, plant the tree to, in a way that they know will survive as far as, depth. And then, whatever tree ring stuff they need to do, and then going from there, so.
Well, those tend to do better than the other ones, quicker. I might suggest you consider doing it in the fall.
Okay.
And then they can get some, because they do establish some roots in the fall, I've been told. I'm not an arborist, you could ask that question. And then they have some chance to establish, because if you plant it in April or May and you get hot right away, you might be in the same boat you were in, just comment.
It's in the same vein of things. So at Kingswood, hole number 1, there's a row of trees on the right side of the fairway. The last one is dying, or maybe dead. So is that going to be taken down as a safety measure so it doesn't fall on someone? And then that's a big tree, so do we need to replace it with 3 trees, or is that just a single tree replacement?
Likely. At that price point, it's going to be there's going to be a limited budget for that, for sure. We're talking a 15 to 20 foot tree and it's coming in behind it. And you're right, it's going to take time. I mean, we can't plant a 30, 40 foot tree. I don't think. I mean, maybe we can. We certainly could if money is no object, but I think this is the route we're in. All right,
What do you say, Tom?
We got the man right there.
Okay, any more questions or comments for Graham on that? Okay, moving on to new business. Carts on path for fall and winter spring. Keith, I believe you brought that up. Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I brought it up just for the fact that I know we've done that for quite a time here with some adjustments, so I was just curious what your plan was, making it longer, starting it earlier, ending later, whatever you think a benefit. Does it have to be on all the golf courses, just whatever you guys, I'm just kind of looking for some history and where you think we're going.
I'll speak. I know Dave, I think is still on the call. He had proposed 3 golf courses last year, and I think there was a little hesitancy on that with our group play and all that. Certainly from the agronomic side, we would love to have as little cart traffic through winter as possible, but also understand the need to accommodate all our members and their guests. So whether it's 2 or 3 or 4 or all of them, I'll be happy with any of them I can get, for sure.
Of course you would, Graham. You want them all to be carts on path. Now, the compaction of the turf has proven that we go carts off path for the winter, that they come in better. I've got to look as we send out our winter schedule. It goes out here for groups to come in. We've seen every summer and winter groups are deteriorating, getting a lot less groups, so we'll see what we can do. But I mean, I'm all good if we could do 3, definitely 2 minimum, no matter what we do. We do have Highlands with the Zoysia on there, and that's why we planted the Zoysia. So if we keep Scottsdale and pick another golf course, we'll get a bang for a buck, and I'll work with Graham, just making sure that our groups and our elderly, the players that really can't play when it's carts on path, we just got to kind of see what we can do. Customers and Graham, you give us a good product, we're going to see what we can do. We'll work together, Keith, to see if we can get the 3. If we can get the 3, it'd be great, but we've got to have a look and see.
Well, even above 3, which I think is a good idea, it's timing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we start having the pass started too late and the damage is already done, or we get them off too quick in the spring and then it allows damage. Like I'm just going to say this year, if it stays like this and you run carts like this all of August and all of September, and then you say everything's going to be good if we don't run carts till October, maybe that's not true. I don't think it's our place to decide what you do. It's our place to support whatever you do. So that's where I stand on it.
If I could just make one quick comment. Keeping the fairways a little bit long in late October, I think helped also. So if we could do something similar, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Yes, sir. That's certainly, actually, we're talking about raising height of cut beginning at the end of this month. It'll be timed with a fertilizer application and kind of try to, boost up growth, our height of cut, and certainly help protect the plant through winter a little bit as well.
Okay, any additional new business? Any questions for Keith or Graham or anybody on that? Good, all right. Any announcements? None. Next regular Golf JAC meeting is Wednesday, September 9th at 4 o'clock. And if that's it,